So I'm here at the Edmonds Ferry terminal. This is like North Seattle. And I mean, it looks like I'm the only one here, but I'm really not. Although it's pretty light load tonight. There's a train over there, a Burlington Northern Freight, ready to roll through the intersection up there. So we've got a few minutes here before we load for the trip across to the west side of the Sound. And I was over in North Seattle visiting that 91-year-old friend of mine. Well, I hadn't been over there for a while. And his chair, his recliner chair that, you know, lifts you up and out to kind of stand you up, isn't working. So I said I'd come over and look at it. I couldn't do anything. Wow. I'm opening this tin of Esoterica Tilbury. Wow. Courtesy of Robert. Woo, that's great. In Texas. Robert Turner. Very nice, very nice. So earlier today I stopped over at CargoHold, and Doug Owen, because he is licensed as a tobacco distributor, he said he can do his takeout cigars and tobacco. So he said, come on down, let's have a smoke out on the sidewalk. So we did. It was a beautiful day, and just had a really good talk. So I captured a little of that, so that'll follow here. He's a great guy, and his wife's a lot of fun too. She has the store, the kitchen implement store right next to him. So Tom bought this tin March 2020. Enjoy. Wow. Oh, Robert. Very nice. Thank you. I'll enjoy that. Doug was smoking some of this. He said it was real mild. And I had already loaded the little Brian Doran poker, I guess you'd call it, with some potlatch, some Seattle Pipe Club potlatch. So I smoked that, but we had a great time out there. So I will try this tomorrow, Robert, and we'll see how that goes. Looks awesome. Looks awesome. Thank you. Guys are awesome. Just amazing. Just amazing. Such a great thing we got going here in this YouTube Pipe Club thing, I tell you. So, yeah, it's about a 30-minute ferry ride across. Costs about, you'd think I would know, wouldn't you? Like $8 for a motorcycle. Great thing about a motorcycle is you get on first, you get off first, and you're always guaranteed a place. So even if there are more cars than there is space on the ferry, they'll always fit a motorcycle on. So it's just a guaranteed passage across it, and it costs less. You know, it costs, I think a car right now is like $14 each way. So it's not quite half, but it's almost half. So it's well worth doing. You, of course, take on additional risk, but it sure makes the trip a lot more fun. And these evenings are kind of cool, but I've got heated grips, and so that helps. And Gore-Tex, you know, you get kind of geared up. But so the clock is showing 8:58. We leave at 9:05. So they might be loading fairly soon. So I'm gonna put this to bed, and I will try that tomorrow. Thanks again, Robert. That is just awesome. So thank you.
To say now.
Well, I know that's the problem with being in front of a camera, right? But here we are
72
in a beautiful day in Poulsbo, Washington. Fairly empty Poulsbo, Washington, with Doug Owen, the loquacious Deny it. Hey, come on out. Oh, yes. And
I
Risa?
got my garbage hat on.
Yeah, right.
That's the head boss there. Otherwise known as my wife.
I know. I think you should switch everything over to her so it's a woman-owned business.
She could also maybe be part American Indian. I don't know.
Well, that's between you guys. I don't know how.
Elizabeth Warren will work for her.
There you go. There you go. I'm sure there's a tribe somewhere that you
No,
could.
I got a call from a fan of yours. Actually, he said I saw your I saw Tom's YouTube video of your store. It must have been one of the earlier ones because you guys both look like you don't have as many gray hairs as you do now.
Right.
And you had a Springer Spaniel by the name of Annie.
Yep.
Annie's been gone for all that time. But that first video you did, she was in the store.
Right.
And he said, I've heard a lot about you, and I'm going to call Pipes Magazine radio show to see if they wanted to interview with you. And we think, I don't know what he meant by we think you should be doing a book of your 50 years in the business.
I couldn't agree more.
Because of this lockdown, maybe this is the time for me to start outlining the book.
That's right.
So I was thinking about doing that this week.
Okay. Oh, it'd be a huge hit in the pipe smoking community, which means it would be minuscule sales.
I'll have to self-publish it at Amazon.
Yeah, that's right.
Something that's been done before.
That's right.
But, I may do that. I mean, it's like a short book, but it's going to be some war stories.
Uh-huh.
And as you know, there's a few of them that are pretty amusing. I'll use aliases for all of the main characters.
Well, so long as you do. I can't believe a bus is running.
That bus comes through every day and is always empty.
Yeah. Imagine that.
Nobody wants to get on the buses.
I know. That's exactly right.
Maybe one of the Italian problems, you know, they had a lot of mass transportation over there.
Mm-hmm.
Italian folks that love to get right up and close and personal with you.
Oh, yeah. And people live in multi-generational households, you know,
Yeah,
grandma and grandpa
right.
with the grandkids. And it's an ideal life, you know. I mean, that's an ideal situation instead of our sort of social isolation in the U.S., you know.
Yeah, and that's partially one of the curses of high-tech. Everybody's on their things all the time. They're all doing this. Half the
Exactly.
time, people walking down the street here are just
I know, they're not looking in
running
your
into each
window.
other because of
Right.
the fact that they're looking at their cell phones.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think we need to get back to the distancing, but talking to real people.
Yeah, I
Like
agree.
you and I do quite often.
Exactly. Exactly. So you were bemoaning the fact that small businesses are going to be massively affected by this.
Well, it depends a lot on a couple of factors, Tom, but I think one of the main things down here anyway, I can only speak downtown Poulsbo, personal experience, but if you look up and down the street here, there's about 50 or 60 retail stores.
Yep.
And probably over half of them have been here less than 2 years.
Uh-huh.
They turn over pretty fast down here. Now, I'm fortunate. I've had a lot of experience in the retail business. I've got the pipes and cigar thing going on.
Right.
So it's a nice, steady business for me. But a lot of these folks are strictly cash flow businesses.
Oh, yeah.
That cash has to come in the front door before they can pay the rent.
Right.
And once you get 6 or 8 months behind on the rent, sometimes you think maybe it's not worth it anymore, and they just walk away.
Exactly.
So hopefully we'll get back up and running in downtown. I think we will.
Uh-huh.
In the next couple of months, hopefully, and get open for business. Here goes the boss again.
I know.
You've been on TV just now. You realize that. He's not even paying you. So. But I think the economy will come back, not as fast as some people think.
Right.
It's going to take a while.
Yeah.
But I count on walk-in trade like anybody else, so I don't have any walk-in trade.
I know, and it's seasonal here too.
It pretty is seasonal. And some of us that have been here for a long time, like which is 31 years for me, we have a local clientele that's pretty much carries us through the winter months.
Uh-huh.
But we make our money.
Yeah.
We make the money we put in the bank in June, July, and August.
Yeah, right.
And December is always busy, but frankly, December is followed by January and February.
Right.
Basically, what you ever do in December, you end up paying for in January and February.
Right.
When you pay the bills. So downtown Poulsbo is a summertime place.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, it's not going to end like we were talking, it's assuming that the curve flattens here and the death rate goes down, and you know, Inslee just the big sports stadium had been set up as a field hospital,
right.
and he's disassembling that
right.
and allowing it to go to someplace more needy, because our curve is flattening in Washington State.
Right.
But
did you hear about the baseball? You probably didn't, because you're not a sports guy.
no.
Major League Baseball has proposed, now this is really something probably not going to happen. I can't imagine this happening. Ridiculous fans or something.
I know, in his giganto truck, yeah.
One of those loud trucks we were talking about earlier.
I know.
Watch the bike.
Whoa, that was close.
That was too damn close.
I know. And I don't think he really had to do that, although his front bumper is mangled, so I'd say that he's probably gun shy.
The players' union in baseball and the owners have gotten together and said, maybe we should play the season. All the teams play in Phoenix, Arizona, and all the outlying places where they play spring training
Yes,
games.
right.
No fans in the stands.
Okay.
Just the players. But the players, if they agree to this, have to be sequestered in Arizona for the entire season. They can't go home. If your family's in North Carolina,
Yeah, right.
you're stuck. You can't go home. Now, I'm not sure they're going to go for that.
Huh.
The other thing is baseball is not as up close and personal a sport as, say, football or basketball.
Right.
But you still got the umpire hanging over.
Oh, yeah, right.
You're trying to hold guys on first base and then just fall apart from it.
Right. Now, once again, testing would go a long way. Antibody testing, you know, if they've had it, then they'd be pretty clear, you know, and they could be a little less concerned about that. But if they hadn't, then that person who would test negative for the antibodies would have to be super cautious. And that's how it should be anyway. So.
And really is going to have an economic domino effect too. It's shut down baseball, basketball, football.
Oh yeah.
It's a domino effect. You know, those big buck teams, all that money comes into, say, the New York Yankees.
Uh-huh.
And everybody that works for the Yankees is on furlough.
Right.
They don't get paid, so they don't get to go down to the local pizza place and buy their pizza.
Right.
So it's just a domino effect, and if it gets out of control, the whole economy could collapse.
Yeah. Right.
You can see that happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, see, that wouldn't happen if there were all kinds of people walking on the sidewalk. So he's benefiting from COVID-19.
It certainly is. We almost got run over. So that's my take on it. I'm just playing the game like you have to do as a retailer.
Yeah.
Play by the rules. But I got my curbside cigar sales, which
I know.
was allowed from the so I'm happy.
Curbside, but you don't have a little window, a little takeout window.
No, you know, I didn't do that. It would cost more money to do that than the money I would have made by
That's
selling
right.
merchandise. So
That's right. Yeah, you don't have a little curbside window either, do you?
Take you like the ones they have in Louisiana, the drive-through
Marguerite.
cocktail bars?
Oh God! When I did that once just to do it when I was at a conference down in Lafayette, Lafayette, and I just had to do it one time just to do it, and it was so weird.
Give me that double margarita and away I go.
With a guy who was stationed in Louisiana with the CIA.
Oh.
And he said, I really miss those drive-out.
Oh my gosh! Well, they were ahead of their time. Now,
Behind their time, depending on
right now, bars are selling to-go cocktail kits, so they aren't able to sell cocktails themselves, I don't think, but they sell the kit. So for $95, you'll get a couple of bottles of hooch and the Demerara stuff. I don't know what goes into a cocktail. So.
Well, you know, I do know what goes into a cocktail, but I haven't really had a cocktail per se since about 1975, because when I want to drink nowadays, I just got the bottle of Glenfiddich, pour it in a glass and drink it. That's
Well, so now some of the restaurants are selling off their vintage whiskeys too to help pay the rent. Yeah. So they're
There's money out there to be spent on these things, apparently.
right. This guy said,
Brings there the booze.
uh-huh. a Japanese restaurant that was open a month, highly anticipated in Seattle, had all kinds of vintage Japanese whiskeys and stuff. He said $20,000-$30,000 of inventory. He doesn't need to have that sitting in inventory, so he's going to sell it.
I think I told you this story before, but I'll tell it again because it's funny. One of my good customers has got more money than he knows what to do with. And he was at a bar one night because he likes to drink in Seattle, and it was one of these vintage whiskey tastings.
Yeah, right.
And this whiskey was $800 a shot.
Oh my God.
For one shot. And
was that in Seattle?
In Seattle.
Yeah, okay.
So he imbibed of 2 shots.
Yeah. 2 shots. Whoa. That's
so he gets home that night, and about a
quadruple.
week later the visa bill comes, and his wife opens the bill.
Oh yeah.
And she says,
WTF,
how
honey?
did you spend $1,600 on liquor? How much did you drink that night?
Right.
He said 2 ounces. And he wasn't kidding. Unbelievable. $800.
Now, that is a cute dog. That is a truly cute dog.
So that's the deal. There's a lot of money to be spent out there because a lot of folks still have a pretty good bank account.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Seattle's a pretty well-to-do place, but I'm just concerned about everybody else, you know, who lives beyond their means, who has lost their job and isn't driving a car like that. I think that is a Aston Martin, maybe?
Pretty sleek looking though.
Yeah, it is.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, that's the main problem, isn't it? I mean, those are the people we rely on to drive this economy.
Oh,
absolutely.
absolutely.
A lot of those guys are truck drivers
Yep.
and restaurant workers and the kind of folks you just assume are going to be there when you need to be there.
Right. And keep the economy rolling,
Exactly.
you know?
And if they can't pay the mortgage,
Yeah, that's a real problem.
could lose the house and who knows.
Oh, yeah. Well, so it's been great having a socially distant smoke with you, Doug. I know. We should do this more often,
First
honestly.
time I've ever done this, I think. One-on-one,
Yeah.
outside,
Yes.
with the lockout of our own store. But, so far,
Yeah. So thank you. Yeah, I'll put this up. I'll process it tonight maybe and get it up
appreciate
tomorrow.
all the PR.